Yes, it's Friday, y'all, and you know what that means. Time for some butt bongos. Who wants some butt bongos? I'll play Hot for Teacher on your ass. Oh man, I'm just gonna have to throw in a raw scream and call it a night. What's up, everybody? Good to be back. I'm in a pretty good mood because I'm continuing on into my 25th year of playing guitar for Stephen Pearcy, the voice of Ratt. That's right. I'm back at it. I got to continue on playing with the band. I survived Stephen Pearcy Island for another year, and I get to come back. And as you can see, that's me. That's me at sound check, and of course the fantastic Blas Elias behind me. Probably not knowing I'm even taking a picture. Oops, sorry, Blas. He's just kind of dreaming about how awesome his life is, and that's our banner, our backdrop. We played a private event this past week. That was pretty cool. I'll, of course, be talking about that. For those of you that are on my Facebook, you got to see some cool pictures from that already, and I shared some videos.
That is homeboy.
But before I get any further, oh my God, they're throwing money at me already? What's going on here? John Evans, gotcha, Marsha. Oh, he's matching Marsha on a live chat, and that's pretty dope. Can I read that? How come Marsha's isn't coming up? Let me see here. My super carrot Marsha, I gotta read hers. Let's start this Friday off right. Who's gonna match me? Oh, that's nice. So Marsha got the party started, and her and John kicked this off. That means you guys are happy to see me, and I appreciate that very much, of course. Let me get in here and talk to you guys. Oh my goodness, look who's here. Spicoli 420. This should be the 420 episode, dude. Fire it up.
I know that, dude. Hey, bud. Let's party.
Oh,
What
what
are
happened?
you people? On dope?
Well, are ya? I've worn my What Are You People on Dope shirt before that my buddy Jim Martinez sent to me. I think I wore it a couple weeks back. And Jim also donated the official butt bongos that you heard me kick the show off with tonight. So we really appreciate that.
Sexy times.
Definitely sexy times. All right, let me get back at it in here. Skojo. Hey, everyone. Now, Skojo was at this gig. He has been at my last two shows, believe it or not. He came to Wichita when we played there, the Cotillion, which that was a Pump 5 show. I've been going out and playing concerts for Pump 5 and having a lot of fun with Steve and the guys. And Scott was close enough in proximity to come to that gig, and he had a great time checking me out with Pump 5. And he was able to come out with my other good friend Tim, who also comes to the Unleashed shows, and of course the Fright Bites on Tuesday. I've known these guys for over 20 years, and they came out to the show to help out and got to be a part of it the other night. And so they can attest to everything I say as being the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help Scott and Tim. Skojo's saying happy 420, but it's not. I don't even know what day it is, man. Us rock guys, we get confused. We don't know what day it is anymore. John Evans, happy Friday, everyone. Yes, happy Friday. Hopefully it was payday for a lot of you guys. That used to be a big deal. I can remember the days where I was doing so bad I didn't even have a bank account, and I would have to, you take your paycheck and you have to go down to the liquor store, cash it for a fee to the guy. Those were the days. Datsun 200SX. I'm glad it's Friday. Who's not? I don't know anybody who's not glad on a Friday. J-Rad, what's up? Where you been, bro? Hey, Eric, and all the fine folks in the chat. Well, happy to have you on board tonight, J-Rad. part of the CMS crew. Wish I could match you, Marsha. I had to pay a fairly large medical bill today. Oh man, what happened, J-Rat? Are you all right? We wish you the best here from the Fright Bite. Marsha's talking to Jay Lee. Did I miss something from Jeff here already? I don't know if I did. Did I? I don't think so. Got Josh Krager in the house tonight. Hello, Eric. Hope you had a wonderful week. I did. I was stoked to be back on stage with Stephen Pearcy and Matt Thorne. Blas Elias on the drums. And then I got a lot of people asking me, was that Warren DeMartini on stage with us in these videos that I was sharing? And I want to say that no, it wasn't, but I could understand why you would think that. Let me play a clip here. Some of you saw this on my Facebook, but check this out. Oh, yeah. So that was not Warren DeMartini, believe it or not. That was Logan Stahlecker, which I first met Logan, I think a little over a year ago. He was playing in a band called Hurricane Alice, and they were opening for us. I think they show up in one of the tour videos I did where their singer came out and revved up a motorcycle inside this theater we were playing, and we all almost died of carbon monoxide poisoning. But that was the first time I saw Logan, and what you're seeing there is just that's his persona. I mean, he wasn't necessarily trying to look like Warren for this gig. He was looked like that before he had anything to do with anything with Ratt or Stephen Pearcy. A lot of people know he also got to tech for Warren at some of the shows. A lot of that had to do with that they had the same guitar setup going, and he would be valuable in that situation there. But yeah, we actually are having Joel Holkstra come in, and that was a big press release this week. And Joel will be playing most of the shows, but just like Blas, they have the Trans-Siberian Orchestra that they play in at the end of the year. And sometimes Pearcy gets end of the year gigs and so forth. So in those situations, we've had other drummers come in. Jimmy DeAnda from the Bullet Boys was the last guy we had fill in for Blas, and I'm sure it'd probably be a similar situation. So if there's one of the events that Joel can't do, our boy Logan here is going to step in. So you're going to get a killer show no matter what. But I had to take a minute to say how proud I was of this kid for. He's not a kid. I mean, he's 25, and let's be honest, that's 5 years older than Warren DeMartini was when he joined Ratt. You know what I mean? So, Logan's a grown up. He lives on his own, and he's from Nashville, and he gigs for a living. He's a real guy that's out playing shows all the time, and he's just good at, definitely good at learning stuff quickly. When you're in Nashville, it's so competitive. You have to be that way. But it's just kind of a weird coincidence that he does totally look like Warren from like 1985. So people kind of went nuts for us at that show. I know it sounds like we were playing a huge concert by the screams you were hearing, but it actually was not a huge concert. We were playing for like not even 70 people. This was a private event for our friend Wade, who was super cool dude that threw like the party of a lifetime for his wife Kelly, who was having a 60th birthday, and they were huge Ratt fans from back in the day. So they totally rented out this theater, the Arcadia, that's in Kerrville, Texas, which is probably like an hour and a half outside of San Antonio. But I thought this was funny. They put a sign on here that says closed due to a rat problem. So a little Geico humor in there. If you've seen the Geico commercial where they have a rat problem, that's where that came from. There was a lot of people that wanted to get into this show, but it was a private event just for, Wade and Kelly's close friends and, business associates or whatever. But I mean, they went nuts for this. Like, I've done events where, you know, it is something like that where it's not necessarily our fans, but friends of this person putting on a event. And when they're not used to going to a rock show, it could blast them out of the room, and that wasn't the case with these friends of his that were there. And he had like special shirts made up for everybody. So they had these, I can kind of show you this. You could see them because I think Bloss is wearing one and David's wearing one, but they were like these, fluorescent shirts that all said "back for more" on them. And so the whole audience was wearing these there, which was super cool. Bloss had put one on. But this is David. He's our new tour manager. And this was a photo we took on the way there. It was raining like a mofo in Texas this week. It was kind of interesting. But this venue was fantastic, by the way. It's been like totally redone, the Arcadia Live. And if you ever get a chance to go to that place if you're in the area, definitely check it out. But you can see I'm always happy to give the bird to whomever deserves it, right? But really, really fun time. I think I have a few other photos from this. I think there was just this one. This might have been from Tim, actually, just a side shot. And that's funny because that's Kelly, whose birthday it was. That's Wade back here on the stage, in case everybody's wondering who these folks are on the stage. This was like on the last song we brought them up to be on stage when we did Round and Round or whatever. So that's what they were on stage for. So I'd say the party was a success. His wife had an amazing time, and it was just that was the first show for me back in almost 7 months with the Pearcy band. So it was just awesome. And I really didn't even practice much for it. There was a rehearsal session tape that I could have played with, and I had some issue with it when I did go to do it. But it just, when you've been playing in the band that long, those songs just kind of come back to you. Like I can kind of the night before that day just kind of noodle over them, and it comes back to me. And I don't know, once I hit the stage, it's just like it always is. So I'm glad I got the warm up though with Pump5 to go out on the road last week and kind of just get back in the groove of being in front of people again. Because even like 6 or 7 months seems like a lifetime to be off in those situations, Oh, well, speak of the devil, Wade Miller became a YouTube member. This is the guy who put on the great event. And thank you so much, Wade, for becoming a member. And that party that you threw was amazing. And it was so cool to see all those Back for More shirts. It was almost like a George Michael video out there, the way they were glowing in the dark. It's like, wake me up before you go. I don't plan on going solo. Oh, yeah. Let me talk to some more people here tonight. We got Frank Hilton, 340. Good evening, everyone. Yes, good evening to all. And Jay Lee in the house. I got my mystery package. Oh, man. After I sent the mystery package, Jay Lee, I was like, God, I hope that was like, okay. Everything in there had a significance to the Fright Bite. Definitely mementos from some various missions and bits that were filmed with Count Cracula, Dahlia Dark. Of course, the Fright Bite being the live vampire Fang Off that happens right here on the Unleashed channel every Tuesday at 6 p.m., with the exception of this last Tuesday, which was the first one that I ever missed. And I felt totally bad. Like I totally missed Dahlia, not seeing her for a week. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it sucked not to see her. It was great to be out playing live, but I had to text her and go, hey, I'm bummed we're not doing our thing tonight. But she was very supportive, and she was stoked to see me out on stage. And we will be back this Tuesday, and we might have a mission. We'll see. Bear Her Neck escaped from Dr. Von Brainscan's lab, we found out 2 weeks ago. So I'm pretty sure the Count and Dahlia are going to have to go bring her in. and hopefully this time the Count doesn't get his ass handed to him like he has in the past. But glad you got your package, sir. And then we got David Carrasco, 666. What's up, y'all? What's up? Oh, there he is, folks. Logan Stahlecker with the fist bump. Yeah, buddy. You did really great. I mean, that has to be nerve wracking, right, guys? I mean, just to learn all those songs, and then you're going up on stage with like the guy, the Stephen Pearcy, the rock legend. You got Blas Elias back there from all the Slaughter videos and Marky Mark Rockstar movie. I mean, that's got to be a lot, you know what I mean? And have to go on stage, and he learned all these Warren noodles for the show, and it was a lot to take on. You know, you really do have to put your whole heart and soul into learning a set like that well enough that not only do you know it second nature, but you're going to go out and actually put on a rock performance, which Logan totally did. He didn't even know what we wanted him to do. Like we did a run through, I think maybe the night before when we flew in my hotel room, the guys showed up and we just kind of made sure we kind of were going to end things the same way. Just we had our little Spark amps in the hotel room, and we're just kind of going over the endings for the most part. I don't think we went over one whole song. So when we played that show, we did have a sound check. Excuse me, we did do a sound check where we ran through. We had enough time to run through everything once. But he asked us, "What do you want me to do?" And I go, "We don't have all that much choreography. If you do have a solo, though, go up to the middle. We want, Steven wants you to go front and center if you have a solo." And then, other than that, if it's verses, we kind of hang back a little. And of course, on the choruses, if we're singing or something, you want to move up to the microphones. And it's pretty minimal in that department. But he hit all those leads. He was right where he was supposed to be. And when we had the double solos, everybody was going nuts. So it's awesome that he's part of the team in all kinds of ways. If not, if you don't see him out on a DeMartini show with him, you could very well see him out with us. And having Joel involved in this too is really amazing. Joel Hoekstra, a world class guitarist without a doubt, and he's like inescapable as far as like, I don't know if it's maybe because I'm a guitarist, I get suggested videos so often or that are guitar related or music, but he comes up all the time in Guitar Magazine's channel for doing videos. There's a lot of guitar YouTubers that have really popular shows, and he'll be a guest on there. And he's one of those guys where when I see him talking about guitar or playing, he inspires me to go, "What's he doing there?" And actually grab a guitar and start. He does some crazy like multi-finger tapping stuff sometimes that's super cool. And I mean, he has a great feel. He's just he's a top guy. He's just there's a somewhat of a small pool of these top American rock guys that are good enough to step in for any big artist, and you can depend on them that they're gonna show up and do the job amazingly. And he's definitely one of those guys. Blas is one of those guys. And typically those people, the best singers, the best drummers, the best guitarists, all get tapped to do the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, which is an amazing event, Christmas event that happens. And you have to be a top-notch musician to hit all your cues, to learn all those crazy songs that are, have so much technicality and musicality to them, and put on a whole show for those people. You have to be top of your game as a performer, not just as a musician, but as a performer. And it's a very lucrative job for the people involved there. It's like a couple of months that they dedicate their lives to, and I would imagine practice all year for. I mean, it's that technical. But during those months, I mean, we will probably still be playing, so you'll always get a top-notch Pearcy band. If Blas isn't there, Jimmy will probably be there, and if Joel's not there, Logan will be there, and it's going to be a big party every time, no matter what. So the cat's out of the bag as far as that goes, but we were excited to just be back out there again, man. What can I say? Oh, and there's brother Tim. It was a blast in Texas. Yep. Always great to see Tim. He's so funny, man. He's got the funniest jokes. After the show, we were hanging out in front of the hotel, just shooting the crap. And he's one of those guys who's like telling a story, and you totally think it's a real story until he gets to the end, and you realize that that was way too disgusting of a story to be real, and he was just kidding. And it's stuff I can't even say on here. But anyways, I am going to do a road vlog for that show, and I've been getting footage from a lot of Wade's friends, and I took some stuff backstage that was good too. So you can look forward to that. I'll probably release it this weekend, so keep an eye out for that. Let me go through and get back in here. J Rad's J Lee, hail and kill, buddy. Yeah, I've known J Rad for quite some time. He's a big CMS classic metal show fan, and he used to watch the Chris Aiken Presents, which I don't see Chris as often now, but we're still pals, of course. David Carrasco, nice pick. And Skojo was really impressed with Logan at the show. And he says, hey, Logan. And everybody's just a big hello fest tonight, back and forth. I try to read everybody's stuff. Jay Lee's, hi, Marcia. Are you going to share with everybody what you got in your mystery bag? You list it and I'll read it. Skylar's saying, good evening, everyone. Well, good evening, Skylar. We're always happy to have you here. Okay, Scott Coburn, 3577. Congratulations on 25 years and 21st episodes with more to come. Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, 25 years sounds like a hell of a long time. You know, to me, I have to like think about each one of those years to put it in to perspective, because I don't dwindle on the past that often. You know what I mean? I'm always more like your average person, where we're just worrying how we're going to get through next month. So I'm just kind of always just hustling, trying to make things happen for this year. I was really happy today to see that there's enough shows that I'll be able to pay my rent, you know, for the rest of the year, and I'll worry about next year. But, you know, we basically, when you're like me, I don't know if you're like me, but like I like to keep a big real calendar, and I just kind of put where everything's going to be for the year, and I just write it in there. With Pump 5, they do have more dates with Texas Hippie Coalition that are going to be happening. And this is how I understand it with Pump 5. As you know, out the great Alex Kane of Live Sex and Death, who's a great guy, great player, interesting guy too. But he plays live with the band, and there's times he's doing other things. Like earlier this year, he was doing the Guns N' Roses thing with Chips Enough, and there was like Pump 5 stuff that he didn't think he was going to be able to do. And that's how I kind of got called back into the mix there. So basically, the short end of it is, I think the shows are going to be split up between me and him. And I understand that, because kind of like, remember when I said I was delivering flowers for a while during the pandemic? The guy who owned the flower shop had his delivery drivers. Now, he never wanted, he's told me this. He's like, he doesn't want to put all his eggs in one basket. He doesn't want to give all the deliveries to one guy, even though one guy could probably have a really lucrative career doing this. He knows there's going to be a day when that guy can't be there, or all of a sudden it's not working there, and then he's going to not have a guy. So he has like 5 guys and splits up all the deliveries accordingly. And that way, if somebody all of a sudden can't be there, they're always covered. It's not a big deal. And it's just kind of more fair that way to the people involved. And I understood that. You know, to me, as long as there wasn't necessarily in that job somebody getting way more favored over everybody else, I really didn't care that much. I understood it. And as far as Pump 5, that's how I believe it's going to go. And I believe that's the reasoning that's going to go along with it. And it's cool, because I like those guys. They were fun to play with. Steve and I were even talking about doing acoustic shows, which would just be a small kind of stuff here on the West Coast where we are. I always joke about Tony's over here in the harbor where I live. Like that's a totally small place, just a little bigger than my room here. But somewhere like that's kind of cool to sit there, just make some bill money or whatever, and keep your vocals up to par, and just keep performing. I feel like the more you perform, the more comfortable you are in front of people, and the more you connect with them, because you're not nervous. You're just so used to playing all the time. You just the music's more secondary, and you can focus on putting on the show part, which is what everybody's there for, and everybody wants to feel like they're a part of it. So all good stuff. So, and then we got, of course, the project. Have you guys checked out the video for Best Days? That's like the latest video that I was in with them. If you go to the project on YouTube, you can check that out. Also, The Death of Me, I'm in that video too. I've talked about the new songs that we're working on. I feel like it's been a minute since I pulled those up. I want to maybe get rid of some of the stuff I don't need here that I showed already. Let me get rid of this, and let me get rid of this, and then let me see if I can pull up a file from my desktop. Possibly, I don't want to take too much time. Oh yeah, here we go. This is new music.
We used to have nothing, and baby we were just fine. We used to dig through the cushions and try and find a couple dimes. And if we hustled up at 20, we'd be good till Monday on any floor. We were the opening band, never paid our tab, but it got us in the door. And we can blame ourselves 'cause the times got tough. Blame the world for giving up on us. It never had to do with anything but you and me. Why is everything so damn complicated? Why is everything so damn overstated? You know it's gotten too loud. We gotta turn it back down. All the memories in boxes, we move around from time to time. Sleep on a king-size cushion, never cross the middle line. Now the times have changed, I don't even recognize us anymore. All the dreams we had, remnants of the past out the door. Why is everything so damn complicated? Why is everything so damn overstated? You know it's gotten so loud. We gotta turn it back down. You know it's gotten so loud. We gotta turn it back
My guitar
down.
solo coming up.
And we can blame ourselves 'cause the times got tough. Blame the world for giving up on us. It never had to do with anything but you and me. Why is everything so damn complicated?
All right, that's enough. Anyways, pretty dope, right? That's a new song. That's not even done. That's just like a scratchy. That's just like, hey, what do we think of this? Like we're just kind of working out these tunes in Dennis's garage. Dennis Hill's singing on that one. He's the guitar player for Face to Face. You guys know who that is? Face to Face, punk rock band. And of course, James Davis, guitarist, and they wrote that song. And I got to play the solo on it. I hope you liked it. But that's what we're working on, and we actually have a show. If you guys are in the Southern California area, I know I wrote this down. I believe it's in June. Oh, Jimmy's gonna kill me if I don't get this right. Jim, are you here tonight? What date is that? Oi, oi, oi. We're gonna be playing the Tiki Lounge, and I thought it was on. Oh, here we go. I got it. I'm sorry. It's July 31st. It's Friday, July 31st. We will be playing the Tiki Lounge. That's in Costa Mesa. So I hope to see anybody that's within a few hours of that venue to come down there. I'm going to make sure that we play Complicated, that song that you just heard. And there's some new stuff that I wrote too that's amazing that I hope we're playing by then too. But you're going to get Death of Me. You're going to get Best Days. You're going to get Hope. We just did a video for Hope not too long ago. So we're cracking out videos in the project. We're finally starting to play. And if you are looking to book the project, I do have that information. You want to contact AFM Entertainment, and that would be Len at afmentertainment.com, and we'll play a rock venue near you. I know that they also book Bad Marriage, so if you want Bad Marriage to play, you probably call Len also, but you never know. Maybe we'll all be playing shows together here at some point. Yeah, and who else can I pump while I'm here? Pariah Pickups. If you saw earlier when I played the Round and Round dual solo there with Logan Stahlecker, my pickups. I think he had. What do you have? Seymour Duncan in his probably, but I had Pariah Pickups, and if you like those and you want to buy some, contact Sean at pariahpickups.com. And he will tell you the best ones for the kind of metal you play or rock you play or classic stuff. He's got pickups for everything. Also Splawn amplification. I've been playing Splawn amps for 20 years. And even when I go on the road, I can show you my latest pedal board I took for the Stephen thing. Because I happen to have it here tonight for those that are interested in such things. But all this stuff's this is mono. Like if you shop Guitar Center or Musician's Friend, these mono pedal boards are pretty nice. They're not too bad. I have a couple of them depending on like what band I'm doing. When I'm doing the Pump5 or the Project, I have a bigger mono pedal board where I actually use the Splawn amp. And it comes with its own pedals and stuff for that amp. But for the flyouts for Pearcy, I have the Tone X, as you can see. And me and Matt Thorne did a profile where we took the Splawn amp up to Matt's studio and we used the best microphones, Royer and Shure mics, and made a profile for it. So the Splawn lives in here. So I have the same sound every time, even though there's a Marshall stack up there. I'm going out into the return of the effects loop out of here. Just one cable goes out to the back of that amp, and I control the volume from right here. I have 3 potential things I can use. I think I'm back for more. I go to this one because it has a specific delay time and a little less noise gate on it, so I could pull my guitar volume down to a almost acoustic level. This is the Shure wireless, which also is a guitar tuner. It's really good. In fact, at the other show, Logan had one, Matt had one, I had one. It's really easy if you have to change channels, if there's some kind of any kind of interruption or interference or whatever, it'll flash and you could just one button push and get onto a different channel. But that didn't even happen when we were there. Then let's see, Boss. Oh, on here on the Tone X, it has some built-in effects on there. So I, as a guitarist, always like to have a little bit of delay going on this kind of 80s rock stuff. To me, it just always sounds good if there's always a duck delay, which basically is like a quick slap delay, but it's really tucked down into the patch or whatever, so it's not in your face, but it's kind of there. Like it's mostly the chord ramp, but then you're like, a little delay. I kind of like that. I just think it sounds good all the time, so I just leave it on all the time. Then I have a chorus pedal. This is a bigger target. This has chorus built in too, for it, but I feel like these Boss pedals are just so much easier for me when I'm wearing like Doc Martens and stuff to like actually nail the pedal. And these are harder to hit for me, if I can be honest. They're not as, this is a better pedal, you know, as far as construction goes. This is great. I mean, I love the Tonex, but I mean, I kind of like using pedals with the Tonex, which you can do. I'm basically coming out of the output of the Tonex going into here, and so this is kind of going through the effects loop. These pedals. This is a booster. This is an EP booster, which I was just going to use it as a booster just to boost my leads, but it sounded so cool. Like I'm kind of playing more the Robin Crosby part of the guitar duo when we're doing these shows. And I noticed when the EP booster was on the whole time, it sounded more like Robin's tone that he had back in the day, which he had a really fucking awesome guitar tone in Ratt. I mean, it was very specific. And songs like Wanted Man, where the verses have chorus in it and stuff, I like to just go over and like smack it here, be able to come over really quick and turn it off in between the little heavy parts on the verse, and then be able to turn it off in time to play the chorus and stuff like that. But this isn't all that big. You know, I was able to like get it in my suitcase this way, and then I have my whole transceiver receiver thing for my in-ear monitors that kind of fits in one suitcase. And definitely don't overpack, because weight starts to become an issue. I was flying Southwest, which it's been kind of the new Southwest Airlines. Do you guys fly ever? I'm sure at some point you guys have flown, and you've flown Southwest Airlines, right? It was never my favorite airline. I always felt like it was cheap. Oh, let me say the good things about Southwest. Southwest was always a good option if you had to buy your own plane tickets for something and you needed something cheap and dependable. And of course, the 2 free bags, right? They didn't charge for baggage, which was great. Now, the only bad part and it had open seating too. The bad part was it was kind of like the city bus of planes. Like, it's like you get more low end people like that when you're going the cheaper route or whatever. There's a reason why people with money will pay more money to not be with the riffraff, because that is what you're going to get. You're going to get riffraff. And I don't, obviously I don't pay for the tickets for when we go play concerts and stuff. And however they want to get me there is totally cool. The free bag thing is done. They're not doing the free baggage anymore. I do believe if you have their credit card, you will still get some free bags, which that would add up quick, because your regular bag is like $35. They're 35 for the first one, and I think like 45 for a second one. They're not charging for a carry-on yet, but they have kind of put that out there that they're considering, which I really hope they don't, because that's pretty lame. As for me, I take my guitar. I've been taking my Les Paul, just bringing one guitar in a Gator kind of flight casey thing, or ATA approved anyway, case. And so far it's been pretty good. Like, depending on which level ticket was purchased for you, you're put into a certain group. They have like 8 boarding groups, and I was never more than group 4. It was like either group 3 or 4 on this past trip, and that was plenty of the low in the alphabet or whatever, or number, excuse me, to get on and get my guitar on board without any issues. So that part was all smooth. Did have to pay for my one bag, and it was 1 pound overweight. I actually had to go in there and pull a cable out or something, and then they took my suitcase that had that pedal board I was just showing you, and my other stuff. So I had a check bag, carried the rest of my stuff. It was all right, but I did want to say it seemed like the clientele itself was a little less low end, pretty much, especially if you're doing like the business trips. Like, when I say business, the business people are usually on the first flight out, which is like 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning. Those are the business people. I tend to prefer doing those ones. Like, those are seasoned people that know how to get on and off a plane quickly, and they're seasoned. They know what they're doing. Once it starts to be like later in the day, you start to get more families and stuff like that, and it starts to get lame again. I know on my flight home, I had a kid next to me who's like 4 or something, probably just turned 4. He wasn't that old. But man, he was squirming so bad. He was like pretty much doing back spins in the seat next to me. And he was kicking me and stuff. And honestly, when a kid's that small, I mean, a 3-year-old or 4-year-old is not going to hurt me kicking me, or whatever. And I do sympathize with parents a bit. And there's times I'll even like turn and say, that's okay. Don't worry about it. But however, he was then turning and like he was pulling the tray out of the seat in front of him, the serving tray. It was like, and then that tray actually like slides a little bit, and he was like, and he was just torturing whoever was like in front of him. I mean, and I guess I'm bringing this up because I feel like there's a lot of free range parenting going on with this generation, if you will, of like kids right now, people that have kids that are like under 5 or whatever, where they're just pretty much letting them run amok. And I don't really recommend that. I think the sooner that you condition them to not be an a-hole, in public, the better the life that they're going to lead. And the more that they'll be living in reality, you know what I mean? Because, people put up with stuff when you're a little kid maybe, but if that little kid doesn't learn his lessons and grows up to act that way as an adult, he's definitely going to learn a lesson at some point. We've had here at our apartment, Susan and I, we get a lot of vacationers that stay here, and they bring families. Sometimes families will combine forces to rent the place upstairs for a week, and they'll have a lot of kids upstairs. But man, you can hear people this week. There's one kid in particular. You can hear him like running in place, jumping up and down, running all over the ceiling for us. That's their floor. But I was thinking about it, and I want you guys to like think about your childhood, right? Think about when you were a kid in the house. Do you remember running in the house? Because like, I'm pretty sure by like 3 or 4, I was not running in the house. I mean, of course, when you're a really little kid, you're crawling around. I was told I crawled like a speed demon around. But once you start walking, you smash your head a couple times. I don't know. It seems like somewhere along the lines, your parents have taught you not to run in the house. But what's ever going on up there, it's like this kid is just like an Energizer bunny. He's running around the house and just jumping up and down. It's like, it is pretty nerve wracking. I can kind of deal with it being a rock guy who has to like, be around a lot of noise and other people all the time, and, traveling in hotels where doors are shut and ice machines are going and elevators are going. I've learned to kind of tune things out, but Susan, not so much. Like she has bionic hearing. I've joked about that before, but like, I mean, she could sense if I'm even like about to snore, you know what I mean? Like we have separate rooms and stuff like that, like just for that reason. She needs her quiet, and she works from home like 2 of the days, and she's home on the weekends, and she just loses it, man. She's like, this whole week, she's just been like slamming on the wall, like an angry Karen, the neighbor. You just hear her, I'll just be sitting here and I'm like, what the hell? You'll hear this, goo, 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 goo. And I'm just like, whoa, Susan, take it easy. Like, I'm like, hey, call the patrol office, so she's been calling the patrol office on this kid upstairs. I've seen the people. They look nice. You know what I mean? It looks like grandparents with their kids and grandkids for a week here in Oceanside. And I dig it. Like, have fun. But this kid's a lunatic. Seriously. He's like throwing cushions off the back balcony. Like, they're dumping coolers off their roof onto our shit on the bottom. It's just like, come on. It's almost like they need some kind of orientation for these people that vacation up here, where they get a list going, hey, welcome. We want you to have a great time, but let's have some rules, Let's not have your kids running around like maniacs. You got people below you. Let's not throw stuff off the balcony. You got people down there. You don't want to upset your neighbors. Come on. Be respectful so we can have you back again sometime. Anyways. Enough of my gripes. Let me get back in and see what you guys have. Skojo wants to know what Jeff got. Is he going to spill the beans on his mystery bag that he won on Dahlia's Wheel of Misfortune. Jeff's had so much misfortune, and that's what made me feel bad when I sent him all the things, because they were fright bite things that could be questionable. Sea Dog, listen, the dog has arrived. Grrr. Well, good to have you here. Are you in the dog mob? Stephen Pearcy says he's calling the new album the Dog Mob. I didn't have anything to do with that. I did name the last record View to a Thrill. I actually came up with that. It's based off a James Bond movie, which if you're a Gen Xer, you probably saw View to a Kill, and I just swapped it out. I know he was big into James Bond stuff, and I don't know. I really liked that title we had for that. The one before that was Smash, and he came up with that. But the Offspring had their biggest album was called Smash, so I don't know. But it is what it is. It becomes part of history. You know what I mean? You can't really, unless you have a DeLorean, you can't with time travel capabilities. You really can't go back and do anything about these things. You just learn to live with it. And when I first heard the Dog Mob, I went, what? And but I mean, after I'm listening to it, I mean, it sounds like a Snoop Dogg thing. And Steven is kind of like the dog father of 80s rock, or whatever you want to call it. He doesn't like to call it hair rock. He called it fashion rock at one point. But the more I hear it, it doesn't bother me all that much. I don't care. You know what makes me happy is that we're all working together on an album. And that's the most important thing. And some of these songs are truly incredible. The first couple ones you guys heard, Steven wrote, and he just put those out just to get people talking. And I think his songs are good. I did get to play rhythm guitar on them, and he's had some guests play lead guitar on some of his songs. But probably the majority of the songs on here are for me, and you're going to hear some truly cool stuff that Steven does on here. And I can tell you Joel Holkstra does play on the record, and you can see why, you know, when you hear him, why he gets paid the big bucks. What can I say? Jay Lee, okay, so he's letting us know what he got. He got some awesome worms, like Chris Aiken used to eat. He got a poster, some eyeballs, a keychain, and some toxic candy. It was pretty funny, yeah. He got the box of worms that Sugar Smack was going to make the Count eat on one of the episodes. It was the episode called Operation Brain Scan. And Dr. Von Brainscan and Dr. Howell, Dr. Ivana Howell, they came up with a serum for the Count and Dahlia that if the Count drank it, it would allow them to know what the riddle is that Sugar Smack was going to give. It would allow them to be able to like hear the answer. And so when Sugar Smack came back to see if they solved the riddle, they actually had the answer, didn't have to eat those worms. So the worms were still here at the studio. They were from larvets. They're actually worms, and they were seasoned. I think they were barbecue, Jeff, barbecue or cheddar worms. And so that box is in there. I felt bad after I sent it. I'm like, man, but I mean, it is the mystery box from the Wheel of Misfortune, but these are significant gifts. You know, if you're a fan of the Fright Bite, you would go, man, that episode, I have those worms right here. So there is some significance there. The eyeballs were from the episode where they had to go after, God, I'm already forgetting who the monster, what the vampire was they had to go after, but he had to get his eyeballs. He had to get the dude's eyeballs. And those are a couple of the eyeballs that were taken. It was from Tongue Blood. I remember now. Tongue Blood. Those are Tongue Blood's eyeballs, Jeff, that you have there. So if you ever get really hungry and you want to see what those taste like, you can go ahead and bite down on them. Did he say anything else? Oh, yeah, the candy. And, oh, yeah, the toxic waste candy he's talking about was from when Sugar Smack broke into a toxic waste dump and stole a barrel of hazardous sour candy. and the count had to eat that one night, and we had some more here, and we included that as well. So yeah, good stuff. David Carrasco, that's a cool. Is that your Italian accent, David? That's a cool. Looks that way. Brett Mandel, how many undercover songs are you guys playing in the set this year? Well, that's a good question. I don't know if we're playing any yet. I would like to play it. That's a badass album. We were getting ready to do it. I was learning those, I think, before the DeMartini thing started happening. But the music business, things happen. Like in the 25 years that I've been playing for Steven, there's been a good 4 or 5 times that Ratt's reunited for a few years, and plans that we might have had just didn't go down. You know what I mean? And I had to just do other things, whatever that may be. When the DeMartini thing started happening, I got involved with the project with Jimmy. He tapped me in to work on that, which was awesome. And the Pump5 guys, I got involved with them. So I've never had really any time off. I've continued to play and record music. And then the Stephen Pearcy record started to finally start happening, basically. I was trying to think how I'd word that. But now we've been in there, and it's, I have to say the work that Matt's really stepped up on this one. He's become like a part of the songwriting team. Before he was just kind of engineering everything and playing bass, but I'm giving these music compositions and Steven's writing, but now Matt's helping him with some of the vocals and things like that, and just really stepping up and coming out with some really great stuff. Like this one song, I don't know if it's going to be called Ethereon, but that was my working title for it. But this song, I love it so much, and it's just so cool, and Steven's voice sounds amazing on it. It sounds better than it has in a lot of years. Definitely better than it did on View to a Thrill and Smash. I think it sounds as good as it did on the earlier Ratt records. So awesome stuff coming your way. Okay, Jay Lee's saying, thanks for packing, Eric. Yeah, you got it, buddy. Oh, our friend Jerome Davis loves Disney. Hi. Hey, Jerome, glad you could be here tonight, my friend. What's going on in Orlando tonight? How's the weather been for you, buddy? Everywhere else, they're having not great weather. Ooh, J-Rad. Thanks, Eric. Had another tummy surgery, but all is well. Okay, well, I'm glad you're recovering from that. Well wishes from the Unleashed crew to you, my friend. Yeah, David Carrasco doesn't want to hear this. Good. I mean, well, he's happy to hear that J-Rad's on the mend. And Jerome's saying, hi, David C. And also, thanks, bud. Much appreciated. Good stuff. Marsha's getting a little excited over here because she's seeing that Logan is in the chat. Hello. Whoa. Cougar alert. Cougar alert. I feel like I haven't been dropping enough.
Yeah, pretty princess.
Marsha's a pretty princess tonight.
Sexy times.
And you know what?
Yeah, I got my beer goggles on now.
I got my beer goggles on now. My super carrot's looking good.
Sexy times.
Let's have us a champagne jam.
It's time for a champagne jam. That's right.
Danger is my business.
Got to get back on the drops, man. Lee Ming Incorporated. Good evening, Lee Ming. He looked like a 70s rock star. He does. Sometimes I know when I'm probably just smoke too much pot or something, but I start thinking when I meet people like Logan that kind of look like a reincarnated person from the 70s or the 80s. You figure that was so long ago that person could have been like one of the rock stars from back then that like died already, and now he's been born again and come back. And then you get these like old souls that seem like they've been playing guitar for like 30 years, but they've really only been playing guitar for like 10 years. It was cool. I got to hear a little bit. Logan's dad's a friend on my Facebook and stuff, and Logan was telling me a little bit about when he was a kid that his dad was definitely super supportive of him. When he noticed that, Logan had some chops, he was really pushing him to be a better player and would always give him these challenges and stuff, and rewards. He had like a reward system that you would see typically used for grades and stuff in school. It was just to get Logan to be top-notch guitarist. And, that's super cool to have that kind of family support. His dad seems really awesome. And it paid off, because it lets you get to a level quicker. You know what I mean? It wasn't that like that for me as a kid. I was like the kid that was like thrown out of high school, thrown out of church, kicked out of the house. It took me, I got there, I ended up getting there, but it took a little longer. But I was still a young guy, when I did finally join Stephen's band. I was like 28, so I was about 3 years older than Logan was. But he definitely has it more together. With that said, it was a different time for us. If you didn't go to GIT or have like a really good guitar teacher or something, there wasn't that many resources to like learn how to play guitar. Most of the local music shops around here in North County didn't have anybody that was good to teach. There was no YouTube like the kids have today. And I'm not making it like I have an issue. I mean, I have just as much of an opportunity to look up guitar lessons on YouTube as Logan does, or anybody else. I think that there's more involved with that. There's no shortage of people that just play as a hobby or bedroom guitar players out there, which is awesome. I think everybody should play a musical instrument, and I think if the guitar speaks to you, I don't care how old you are or young you are, you should grab a guitar and learn how to play it. It's a great way to express yourself. It helps keep your brain working good. And it's better than playing video games or something like that as far as being healthy for you, a healthy hobby. And but a lot of kids give up on it. It's not easy to like continue to get good on guitar. But that doesn't mean it's not fun. I mean, as soon as you learn how to play a bar chord, you're off to the races. You could be in a punk band, you could be in a thrash band. I mean, you don't have to be that technical of a guitar player to rock and put on concerts. I was doing a workout earlier and I was listening to some music, and I put on some Nirvana on there, and I was listening to it. Now Nirvana were like, before Kurt died, they were on top of the world. Like Guns N' Roses, Nirvana, those bands in the early 90s were Pearl Jam were the biggest bands around. And Nirvana really Kurt was never doing anything that technical on guitar. I mean, he certainly had some great guitar tones, and he had some cool effects, but the 90s were a different time. I mean, Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, when it came to the solo sections, they would throw on some crazy pedals and kind of do a avant-garde solo that was they were tired of the 80s shreddery, you know what I mean? They wanted a more artsy expression when it came to the solo section. And it's a cool sound. Whatever they did was kind of cool. It wasn't the same thing we had heard in the 80s, but it was still cool. I'm from that era. It's like I turned 18 years old in 1990. So I'm not technically an 80s guy, although I was alive for it. I love all that stuff. I love the videos. I taped Headbangers Ball. But technically, I'm a 90s dude. You know what I mean? When I was out playing clubs, it was the 90s by then. You know what I mean? There was like a different set of rules going on in the music business. People were starting to cut their hair. They were not playing the technical guitar solos. Things had changed. But anyways, I digress. So I was listening to the Nirvana album tonight, and it was very basic, guitar stuff going on. Dave Grohl's Foo Fighters are more technical with some of their stuff, but even the Foo Fighters stuff isn't super technical on guitar. But both these bands, one thing that they do, whether Foo Fighters or Nirvana even more so, but Kurt's lyrics, you know what I mean? Lyrics really speak to a lot of people. Like, I'm not particularly a lyric guy. I noticed there's like two groups of people. There's the ones that kind of feel the music and listen to the music and take it in, and certainly the melodies and stuff. And then there's people that the lyrics are so important to them, like, and usually those are people like Bob Dylan fans or something. Like, they could excuse the nasally because they just the lyrics were so profound to them. You know what I mean? That's what they were a fan of. And bands, guys like Kurt Cobain had that gift as a lyricist, especially being a young guy like that. And that's more important than shreddery, is just, you know, connecting with people. And once you go too complex, you're going to kind of lose people as a whole. If you're trying to reach a lot of people, if you're not, everybody's trying to reach a lot of people. Some people are like, I don't care, I just want to play what I do, and it's crazy maniac music and whatever. I don't care if it's all 10 guys there watching it. Whatever the case, we're all motivated by different things. But you know, for me, I grew up with mostly rock and classic rock, and you know, I didn't hate the '90s stuff. I liked, I liked Mother Love Bone. I thought Pearl Jam they were fine. You know what I mean? I didn't go buy the Pearl Jam records or go buy concert tickets for them. I liked Smashing Pumpkins. I remember buying their records, and I did go see their concert. Soundgarden. You know, there was a lot of there was stuff that I did like from the '90s, and I do like to revisit it sometimes, because we like to trash the '90s, but it had a lot of cool stuff to offer in it, and a lot of music is cyclical like that, and it just comes back around, and it's like almost like that stuff's almost making somewhat of a comeback. But I lived through it all, so I kind of like to give a whiff of all that stuff when I write music. And some of the stuff I do with Stephen is more almost '90s vibe on some of it, and he gets to do something a little different than he's done. I mean, you don't want to just keep rewriting round and round. You know what I mean? Like, I've done songs like that, like that sound like old school or whatever, but it's with all these years now, everybody's done that. It just starts to sound a little generic. You know, it's hard to write like an '80s sounding riff that doesn't sound exactly like something else. But if you can like spread your influences out a little more and let other people have a chance to get involved with it. Like, I've admitted that I can be a control freak, and that's not always good. Like, when I do it all, write the music, sing on it, do this, write the lyrics, it's kind of one dimensional. I've noticed that when I've just kind of let go a little bit and let some other people get involved, it becomes something more special. And then you also have that connection with those other artists where you're like, hey, we made that together. And it kind of like strengthens your rock and roll brotherhood in a way. And I'm just grateful for it. Like, it's when I get to go up to Matt's studio and work with him, it's very special to me. And I only probably have another day or two up there, and it's just going to be doing some icing kind of stuff. I think all the songs are there. I know he's got probably 12 songs. We have way more songs, but that's okay. I mean, usually if he does sign on for a deal or something, it's typically 2 or 3 record deals. So if we can just get these all done now, great, you know. But there's a lot of them. I mean, I gave 40 songs to Steven, I think, for this. So we're just going to keep going with this. I'll see where it goes. But when is it going to be out? I would think probably within the next 6 months at the latest. I mean, he's not just going to sit on it and not do anything with it. Woo! I feel like I'm all over the place. Anyways, Skylar, he looks like him. He totally did. It was funny today when I posted the round and round thing, which I'm going to have to play that again, I think. Let's watch it again. Oh man, what can I say?
Sexy times.
That's right. People were excited, man. it's going to be the same kind of pandemonium, I think, when Joel Holkstra comes out, which in like 2 weeks, we have a show, a Pearcy show that's going to be happening. And it is going to be at the Advent Health Center in Tulare, California, which I think is like 2 hours from LA. I believe LA Guns is on that, if I'm not mistaken. And I know a lot of people plan on coming out to it. It's going to be pretty dope. And that's going to be Joel's first show. But I think that's going to also be pandemonium. But I just thought it was kind of cool that Logan was able to create pandemonium with me just there. I mean, that's a good sign that people are being supportive about whatever Stephen does. That, you know, they know Stephen has a great band and they're going to get to hear, they're going to rat and roll no matter who shows up to there. So we appreciate everybody that's supporting, and you will see more shows coming your way. Adonis, what's up, my friend? 1973, Adonis. I loved helping collect merch money and having dinner with Matt and Greg D'Angelo at one event. Yeah, we've had some great players. Greg D'Angelo, of course, from White Lion. That was around, I believe, 2015. He was in the band, and that was good times too. Jerome loves Disney. He looks the part. No, I mean he looks the part, all right. Almost too. I don't want to say too much, but because that is him. It wasn't like in his defense. Like I didn't want people to think, oh, he's trying to impersonate. When I met him, he just happened to dress like that. Which Warren wasn't the first guy to dress like that in the '80s. I mean, he's definitely Logan. Identifies with the '80s rock fashion. It's obviously he likes it and he's got the build for it. You know, he's the skinny with the long hair and it works for him. You know what I mean? But like I said, before he had anything to do with being playing for us, tagging for Warren, any of that, he was playing in Hurricane Alice. He had a couple other bands that he played in, and when I saw him look just like that. And when I talked to him after the show, I was just thinking to myself, wow, this generation's got some good players, you know. I don't even know what his generation's called. I kind of forgot after the millennials or whatever. I forgot what comes after that. But I just noticed that his generation, they have the skill, right? And they're smart and they're nice and they're cool and they're talented. They don't have the ugly egos that a lot of the 80s guys had, and even 90s guys for that matter. I feel like they're overall, that age group that I meet, they just seem more down to earth. I mean, and almost all seem like old souls in a way. You know what I mean? They can assimilate, or they can talk with any age group. You know what I mean? They can get along fine with anyone, and they're mature. There's a maturity to them, but they have sense of humor. You know what I mean? But it's just interesting. Something about them that none of them just come off as like big mouthed egomaniacs or anything. And it was just, I like when I meet people like that. I mean, that they deserve to get a chance to do something cool. You know what I mean? I think, you know, somebody like Logan has worked hard and he'll be a good fit. I mean, hopefully this gives him enough attention that he gets better gigs anyway, from it. But you will see him again with us. I'm thinking probably like November. I told him this. I'm like, November, December, don't be booking yourself up, because we'll probably be doing something and those guys will be out with TSO and you will get to play with us again. And it wasn't obviously trying to take away anything from Joel. I mean, I'm super excited to be on stage with Joel Holkstra too. So this whole thing for me has just been great, but I'm a sympathetic person, you know what I mean? And it's like, I realize how hard Logan worked for this, and I didn't, you know, I know what it's like to be disappointed. I know what it's like to be told I'm going to play in Ratt and then not, you know. I've had that happen like multiple times where it was like, Stephen wanted me in the band, but then for whatever reason he was outvoted and I wasn't put in the band. And you think that your life's about to change, and then it doesn't, you know. But it was okay. I mean, I was always happy just playing in Stephen's solo band. I was always totally cool like that. I didn't need the added judgment. I didn't need the added pressure. And you get that, like, when you actually replace a famous person, you have big shoes to fill, and there's always going to be diehard fans that just don't like you, that just hate you. And I felt like I kind of sidestepped a lot of that playing in Steven's band because it wasn't Ratt. So it's like, well, what's your problem? I'm not in Ratt. That's Warren is, and you know, you can go see Ratt if you want. If you want Steven, it's more a celebration of his whole career, which wasn't just Ratt. He had Mickey Ratt, of course, but you know, he had Vertex, he had Arcade, right? He's done other things, and then he has. This is going to be his, I believe, sixth solo record that he's done. And I do a lot of this stuff with him. At least the last, like, I wrote the last two albums and starred in the videos. And you know, he wrote some songs on this one, and I probably wrote 75% of this record too. So I'm a part of the extended Ratt family. I feel like a Ratt cousin or something like that. But I'm part of the story, and I'm honored. I'm honored to be a part of the story. But most of all, I'm just happy that the story's still going. You know what I mean? If it had ended, I'd be okay with it. Like, as you guys saw, I was moving on. I was making awesome original music with these other bands like Jimmy and the Project and stuff like that. And I'm so proud of that stuff too. And when I think about it, most of the great players that we have, that we're blessed to have in our lives, they all do stuff like that too. They all play on their friends' music, and they all put out other stuff with other bands, and that's just because they're musical, creative people. And I'm stoked that it's, even though I don't always think of myself that way, I am that way. I am one of those people. I'm one of them, and I'm just happy to still be in there doing it with these guys. All right, what else have we got here? Wade and Kelly here. It was the best night ever. Well, I'm so happy. It was a really awesome night, and all your friends and associates, Wade, were super cool. I mean, in the videos that I posted, like I said, it sounds like we're playing an arena from the reception that we got from everybody. But I was like, no, it's like 60 something people there. They were just all having such a great time, and they were so fun to play for. What your friend Monica was on my flight home, and she was super cool. She sent me some videos, and we're friends now and stuff. So I'm happy to be friends with you and Kelly now, and that's what it's all about. Just I've always preferred to be someone that unifies people for positive reasons. I realize that some of these past episodes I've had drama going on, and I was upset, and I've had to speak my mind about some things, but that's just who I am. I'm not apologizing for it. Sometimes I have to clear the air and talk about that kind of stuff. John Evans, 1969. Sounds great, Logan. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was just impressed with him, you know, just not having been coached that much for what was going down, that he stepped up that much and just put his whole heart and soul into his performance that night. And I saw it, and I was like, man, this is super cool. So definitely proud of him, without a doubt. Via Extraterrestrial, he looks like Chris Robinson from Black Crowes as well. Well, hey, that's another awesome guy. Yeah, I mean, he's blessed with that look. I mean, when you watch the beginning of my show and you see me when I was his age, I had long hair too, and you could see some of that in there. I didn't have really good hair. I'm Italian, Greek, and German, so I have like curly, greasy hair, you know, and I started losing my hair a little bit when I was in my 20s, and I just went for the mohawk, and I've kind of had like the mohawk look from about Logan's age moving on till today. I've had pretty much the same do, but you just play the hand that God dealt you, and it's not just about your looks. I mean, definitely you have a leg up if you have the look and you can play. You could definitely be rest assured you'll be probably hired into a band, especially if you can not be a arrogant guy and kind of just be a team player, if you will. I mean, if you could be a band guy that's there to help your fellow band guys and just kind of be an uplifting, positive person to be around, you could do this for a living, and you'll get a gig playing for some band, and hopefully better and better gigs to where you're commanding a better fee for what you do. I forgot where I was even going with that. Sometimes I get on a soapbox and get lost. Woo! Lee Ming, are you not a fan of the Black Crowes? Black Crowes are the worst band I ever heard. Man, come on now. I mean, I will say that the Shake Your Money Maker record only had like about 2 or 3 songs that I liked. I remember liking back then, but I don't know. Some of their hits are just super huge. But no, he's a great singer, and they're I think everybody's entitled to their opinions. Lee Ming doesn't have to like the Black Crowes. There's a lot of bands that I don't really get or like, you know. Jay Lee, hit the like button, everyone. Yeah, if you're here tonight, you know, these are free shows I put on for you guys, but it's free to hit the like button. If you're not subbed up, throw me a sub. I appreciate it. Turns out my Unleashed episode I did last week, I forgot to even monetize it. Like every week you have to remember to like check this box that says monetized in your YouTube studio. And I thought I did, but when I went today to set up tonight's show, I saw it wasn't even getting monetized for the last show, but it didn't bother me. I'm like back out playing again. So like that's my main source of income. But I want to also take a second to say thank you to all of you that have, donated to the channel. And somehow I'm still here. You know what I mean? Like not only here, but, adding cool stuff for the shows and kind of just reinvesting all that money into, paying for the new computers and the cap cuts and the storage for all the video stuff. And it helps out, and it helped me to get by, and we're all going to win here because now I'm back out with Stephen. I know everybody loves the music first and foremost, and that's what I really want to give you most of all. So every band I'm in, you're going to get road videos for it, whether it's the Project, Pump5, obviously Stephen Pearcy. I'm going to put out the Stephen Pearcy video this weekend. So I'll be there to watch it when it premieres with you guys. So when you see it, hopefully you can watch it live and we can talk about it when it was on. Wade, who put on the event, wanted to tell Logan that you were amazing. Well, there you go. Another satisfied customer. Dale Groot, late. So was it great working with Joel? I'm going to let you know how great that is coming up because he hasn't played with us yet. Joel is going to come in for the Tulare show that we're doing next month, and I want to say it's with LA Guns, and that's at the Advent Health Center on May 9th, which is a Saturday in Tulare, California. But I have spoken with Joel, and not only is that dude like a world-class guitarist, as any guitar players here or even rock fans know already, but what a humble guy. I mean, he was so kind to me on the phone, Joel Holkstra. Right away, he was like, hey, man, I just want you to know, I think you're an amazing guitarist and you play whatever leads you want to. He was like, I don't care. I don't care what side of the stage I'm on. I mean, he just came out of the gate trying to I appreciated it because not that I was like, what do you call it? Like intimidated by him, but kind of, you know what I mean? Not in a threatening way, but just in a like, holy shit, this is like a real dude. You know what I mean? Like Joel's one of the go-to guys on the guitar channels and stuff where he's talking about, a lot of music theory and stuff like that, where I'm just kind of like a high school dropout rock guy. You know what I mean? Like, I can play some of the stuff. I'm not to take away from my talents, you know what I mean? But I'm just like a feel guy, you know what I mean? Half the time I don't know what mode I'm in when I'm playing, where he's somebody who has to be able to articulate both musically and verbally what's going on with people. And those kind of guys are called into these big YouTube shows all the time. And, so I in some ways I feel like he's certainly on a higher level than me, and he's more seasoned than me, just having done more musical things, where most of my experience has just been playing with Steven for most of the last 25 years. I haven't really played, not until this last year where I started branching out and playing with some other bands and stuff. So he's just been around the block more times than I have. And in a way, I would say he was probably doing that just to make sure that I felt comfortable, you know what I mean? But I appreciated that he said that to me, that he just came off as like a super mellow, cool dude. That's just, so I know I'm excited. For me, I win. If Logan's there, if Joel's there, I win. It's like there's almost like a black cloud that's kind of been lifted now to where we can just have fun. And it was cool to see Steven having a fun time. You'll see that in the video. There's some funny backstage stuff going on. We were playing football with a loaf of bread, which is, I don't know, it's funny anyway. I love when Steven's having a good time. That's what matters the most. So Josh is saying he had a close call with his router while routing the pickups. The bit shot out. The bit shot out so quick. Luckily, however, I was able to fix it without injury. Well, that's good, buddy. Cool that you're working on your guitars. You could save a lot of money if you learn how to work on your own guitars. It's like getting your car repaired, paying to have stuff done on your guitar. I finally start doing my own stuff. Lee Ming Incorporated. They don't have a good song. Well, let's see. I mean, what are some songs? Yeah, I'll tell you, you're right. Their best song, they didn't write. Let me light your candle, 'cause mama, I'm so hard to handle now. You surround. That's not their song. That's a cover song. So as far as their songs, you might be onto something. I don't know. They're just, if you're not into blues, way bluesy stuff, you're probably not going to like it. You know what I mean? Skojo, check your text for a pic of the tea. Okay, well, I guess I could do that while I'm sitting there, like I'm sitting here. Okay. Skojo, hey, Wade Miller. Skojo got to meet Wade. He saw how hard he was rocking out. I have a little video. Wade gave me some of those videos, actually, that this one of Logan and I playing guitar, and there was another one that I posted on my Facebook that shows Wade in it, and he's just kind of rocking out in the front row, which he told us ahead of time he doesn't care what's going on. Once the show starts, he was going to be right dead center, having the time of his life, and he was. And Jay Lee's wondering if Dahlia's watching tonight, and if she is, he wants to say hello to her. And I know, like, I miss Dahlia. I'm looking forward to Fright Bite on Tuesday, and I hope a lot of you guys that are here tonight come check it out and come in for some laughs, right? Via Extraterrestrial, the Black Crowes was one last true rock and roll band of the 90s. Yeah, I dug his voice. I mean, Chris Robinson has a great bluesy, soulful voice. Jay Lee needs his Boo News. Yes, it's the only news I trust is from from Dahlia, right? Siobhan, of course. Siobhan, I was basically her name. Siobhan O'Rain, to be exact. User NG4KK9KX4. Damn, that sounds like a Google password. What shows will Logan play on? I want to see him play after researching him. Good stuff. Well, I know this private event was the first show that he played, and, in some senses, it was like a tryout for him. You know what I mean? It was like a safe tryout zone. It was like a private event. We were playing for like 70 people. It was a good chance to see that good he could throw down. He was a good call for like having somebody. And so, as I said, like, I know for sure he'll probably be playing in November and December. But until then, as far as I know, Joel will be playing the shows up until that time. So these next ones will be with Joel. But if for some reason Joel has an opportunity or some kind of thing he does, because he's like the kind of guy who's on the Monsters of Rock cruise every year. He's like, he does things. He's a mover and a shaker. And if he has something that conflicts and he's like, Logan could do it. We know that now. So we'll see what happens. But this year it's going to be Guitar-mageddon, because it's just like, we got awesome dudes no matter what's going on. You're going to get a hell of a show. So buy your tickets out there. If you go to officialstephenpearcy.com, which, do I even have a banner for him? Damn it, I need to make one. How could I not? Sorry, Steven. I will have to get something like that going, man.
Relax. All right?
Off my case, toilet face.
You dick!
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Up your nose with the rubber hose. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Frank Hilton. We got a new YouTube member. Awesome. I'm going to add new stuff here. Thanks for bearing with me. Obviously, as these shows continue with Pearcy, I'm going to be getting all kinds of extra cool footage, and I'll start doing some extra stuff that it's going to be members only. And now that the channel's built up a little bit, we're getting a couple members. I was also thinking about doing some extra shows that are just members only. And maybe that's kind of a cool little kind of private party we can have, where we can really get down and dirty. Who knows? I don't know. Let me see. Skylar, yep, hit that like button. Hit that like button. And Lee Ming saying, wish more people knew Nirvana. I was listening to Nirvana tonight, Lee Ming. I put on the well, not In Utero, but the Teen Spirit one. I've already forgot what it was called. God damn it. My brain's kind of going tonight a little as we're reaching the end of the show here. Lee Ming, Tuna Tush agrees with Ming. Tuna Tush here? Tuna Tush? Welcome back. True Nirvana is so obscure. Hello, McFly. It was all good stuff. You know, obviously music, it adheres to like certain brain cells in our head. And as we age and move on with our lives, suddenly like we hear this song and it just kind of pulls our brain. It reactivates that brain cell it was attached to. And it just takes you back to your life, man. It's so cool. I mean, I love how music affects our lives and becomes the soundtrack of our lives and just takes us back, and we kind of pause for a minute and just think about some of the things that we've been through and the people that we've been through with them and what we were doing when we first heard that song or when those songs were popular and stuff. And it's a pretty cool just reminder of the journey that life is, you know, and our just connections with each other and the events in our lives and everything. Oh, what? Lakeisha Devon's for real. Do you mean my cat, Joel? No, we're talking about Joel Hulkstra. Joel's a hell of a player for sure. Amazing. Yeah, look up. I'll tell you, Joel, if you're not familiar with Joel Hulkstra, he's played guitar for Cher. I gotta do the Cher blowjob cheek thing. Anyways, he's played for Cher. Joel's played for Whitesnake. Obviously, you know, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and geez, countless, you know, guitar stuff. I mean, he's just one of those quintessential, you know, rock guitar beast guys. But anyways, so your cats are named Joel and Colin? Oh, that's so sweet. I love cat people, any animal people. If I had a bigger house, I'd have dogs, but I don't. We have a Charlie cat and Kylie, and Susan and I love those two cats. Charlie cat is Susan's cat and Kylie's my cat. And I've grown to love Charlie cat, and she's grown to love Kylie. And despite whatever might be going on with us in our relationship, whether we're on or off or just friends or roommates or boyfriend, girl, or whatever is going on, we decided we're staying together till the cats go to college. That is just something that we cannot break up our cat family. And it makes me, even though I don't have kids, I understand why people don't get divorced after the kids go off to college. I get it. Anyways, Rat and Roll, much love, brother, from upstate New York. Oh, yes. They're saying hi, Lakeisha. You got friends here. Lakeisha's usually at the Fright Bite. She likes to bite down on it with the Count and Dahlia, but she comes to these Friday things too, which is awesome. Hi, Skylar. Nice. I love seeing you guys get along and be friends. Ming, make the pictures again. Last time Devontae loved them. All right. And Lee Ming, Lakeisha, Devontae for real. Yeah. Everybody Fang Chung tonight. Everybody have fun tonight. Everybody Fang Chung tonight. Everybody have fun tonight. Frank Hilton, hey, Rat and Roll from Hudson Valley, New York. Oh, good stuff. Sue Krauser's in the house, everybody. Hey, Eric. I'm here, brother, for the first time. Can I get a David Lee Roth, Howl, or a Spicoli? Of course. Come on now. You know I could give you that. I know you didn't ask for butt bongos, but I'm going to give you some Hot for Teacher butt bongos, too. I got to work on that a little bit, sorry. My butt bongo skills are a little off with the new butt bongo. I have to tune my fingers to the right key, you know?
Danger is my business.
Yeah, anyways. Okay, who else is here? There's a lot of people here tonight. I'm glad you guys are chilling with me tonight. It's never a fun Friday unless you guys are in my house. Lee Ming wants to say Tyrone Davis extraordinaire and unique Davis sovereign. Yeah. And Sue saying happy Friday, my rat bastards. Yeah. Jay Lee, all good. Dale, what's up? Skylar, yes. Oh yeah. Via Extraterrestrial. How about Coyote and Carlsbad? There's always great live music. There is. It's funny. Yeah, that's the Coyotes. Like the what do you call it? The Cougar Bar. It's like that's where all the Cougars go, and where all the pool boys. The pool boys go hang out there looking for the Cougars. But anyways, the Coyote's been there for a very long time, and yeah, that's a great place. Definitely good stuff happening at the Coyote. It's always a good time. Tika's Burn Rubber. It's not just a great song by Gap Band. It's also Erik Ferentinos and 1-800-Flowers. Yeah, he's of course talking about my last day on the job where I was like, I'm out it. Screw you guys. I'm going home. And I just peeled out of the 1-800-Flowers shop. And actually had to beg for my job back after the DeMartini thing happened. I had to go, hey, I just want to apologize for peeling out of your shop. That wasn't cool. Anyways, got any routes for me? Oh, that's the worst when you have to do that. When you have to call back your boss that you already like took a dump on his desk when you won the lottery or peeled out or whatever. Oh, Keisha Devon, for real. You're very creative, Ming. Ming's got some great, if you're at the Fright Bite, he's always got great vampire dad jokes that he brings to the show that we always look forward to. Woo, Frank Hilton, sounds like Enough's Enough. Are you talking about the song I played from The Project? I thought that song was more like a Bryan Adams-ish kind of vibe. Like again, you know, the lyrics were cool, like, the lyrics to the song I played earlier for The Project, I just like that song. It just reminded me of my own personal life, you know, and my you know, living in poverty, playing in bands, and going through the cushions for change to buy cigarettes or whatever, food. You know, I've been through a lot, and you're stronger, just like you guys. We all have. And as you know, we're stronger now. We figured out how to survive. We figured out how to get by, and we got this game kind of somewhat wired anyway. They can't get rid of us that easy, right? But yeah. Anyways, what do we got here? McCullough Springs. Eric, what's your opinion on David Lee Roth's recent vocal quality? I was listening to a video today, and I thought he sounded pretty good. It was of Panama. And yeah, the band sounded, I mean, that guitar player that he has is super tight. That is some of the tightest live guitar playing I've heard out of anyone, and doing the Van Halen stuff is not easy. And so the band sounded on point. Dave was singing Panama. It sounded pretty good to me. I mean, I've heard most singers have a bad night at some point, you know what I mean? But I don't think he should give up. Like, some people are just jerks, you know, with that sort of thing. You know, remember, when you're there, it's always better than when you're watching a video of it. Like, you watch a video off somebody's phone, it accentuates all the bad stuff in a way, you know, like all the whatever. It just... when you're there, you're feeling all the music in your body. You know, we're mostly made up of water. It's just like the frequencies just affect us, our body chemistries. And when you're at a concert, it just does something to you that you're not going to get watching it on your phone. You know what I mean? And we're so much more judgmental when we're, you know, waking up in the morning, having our coffee, being all judgmental on somebody's live performance. You know what I mean? It's like if you were there and you had a few drinks, you'd think it was the best thing ever, you know, and that's what a concert's supposed to be. You're supposed to do a little pre-party, get down there. Concerts, rock concerts and pop concerts are supposed to be a chance for you to get all your aggressions out, all that pent up stuff that you know, when you have to be at your job all week and you have to be kind of play a character and behave just to get through it, to pay your bills. And you're trying to be a good parent. You're trying to be a good wife or husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. And it's a lot of pressure. You got just the pressures of the world, all this bad news all the time. When you go to a concert, it's your chance to yell and scream and just get it all out of you and sing and celebrate and rock the heck out. You know, that's what you're supposed to do at those things. And you should do it for David Lee Roth when he comes to your town. And I'm not just saying that because I use his screams all the time either. Logan saying, I had a third power mag frag bridge pickup in mind. Oh, I was wrong. He doesn't have a Seymour Duncan in there. I'm sorry, Logan. I didn't mean to put out that misinformation. Logan was playing his own pickup. It was a third power mag frag. I've never even heard of that. It sounds pretty freaking awesome, though. He's got the mag frag. I'm playing a Pariah pickup, and I'm going to look up right now. I'm going to see if I can find what my Pariah pickup is. I have to look through my photos and type Pariah because I want to tell you guys the right one. Okay. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. Oh man. All right. I'm all going to look for it later. Too much time's gone by. Hold it together, Eric. Unique Davis Savron. How you been, Eric? Well, I've been pretty good. I want to give you the pretty princess that you deserve.
Wasn't she pretty princess?
I've been doing good. I've just been jamming and being back out on the road, and I'm reinvigorated, you know, doing what I was meant to do, entertain people. And I love it. And that's what makes me happy. But these past 7 months that I've been home, you guys have made it fun. Like I got to kind of still perform in a way on Friday nights doing this live show with you guys, just of course just interacting with friends, right? And then Tuesday you guys let me practice my comedy chops and do vampire comedy, and I don't know, I get to act a little bit and just be creative in different ways, and you guys allowed me to do all those things and supported it, and I thank you. And now we get to, you know, predominantly get back to rocking and making tour videos. But if I'm not on the road, I will be here every Friday with you guys. And most Tuesdays I'm home. So there's that. RDT275. I love my Splon combo amp. It is my main gigging amp. That is so cool. Yeah, go to splonguitars.com, guys. Check out Splon. Another great amp is Mahaffey amplifiers with Tris Mahaffey. He's a good friend of mine too. Mahaffey amplifiers make some great classic rock amps, and then of course splonguitars.com. Those are the two amps that I endorse. Going back to the comments here, don't want to miss anything, and I'm already missing stuff. Whoo. Lee Ming saying Jerome Davis made me a song. If you fan of Fright Bite, checks it out. Yeah. So Johnny Ponder, what's up, buddy? Loving what I heard of Dog Mob. Yeah, that's just a teaser. I mean, Stephen, you know, when this started, when he was like, okay, I'm gonna start the record, first thing he did was started doing his songs, because if you're on Stephen's TikTok or Facebook, he's always playing guitar on there, and he's had some riffs he's been stuck in his head for a while, and he's like, I'm putting these on the record. And so Matt helped him get it together, and Bloss, and then I'm glad he had me kind of play on it too. You know what I mean? I like to. It's not that I have to write every song, but I don't like when I don't play on something too. So Stephen was kind enough to let me. You know, that was another way I survived too. He did pay me to come in and be in the studio, which was nice of him. That helped me big time. He's such a good guy. And anyways, I got to play on his song, and then obviously the songs I wrote, I come up and play guitar on and all that. And on my songs, most of my songs I play the solos on. But I was stoked that we had some of the amazing players come in and do some solos on this record. I want the record just to be well received and as much people like it as possible. It's not about ego with me at all. So if you go to Lee Ming Incorporated's channel, the song he did's on his channel, guys. And I will, if you guys have anything you want me to promote and you're a regular of the show, I will, of course, promote your channel on here because I want you all to win, as I've said many times before. Okay, Johnny Ponder. I played drums? What? What are you talking about? Anyways, what's my super carrot saying here? Lee Ming, where can I find your song? It's Lee Ming Incorporated is the name of his YouTube channel. T-Cuz, Jeffrey Osborne versus Billy Ocean. Before you just say, meh, Billy Ocean, listen to that funky joint Jeffrey did called Stay With Me Tonight, 1984. It's fire! All right, T-Cuz, we could look up that tonight. I mean, I do love some Caribbean Queen. Now we're sharing the same dream, but our hearts still beat as one. No more love on the run. Man, he's great. Anyways, Matty Too Fresh. Yo, what up? Eric, Daddy Goth, and I are hanging in the Salvation Army parking lot. It's our Friday night tradition. All right. Well, that's cool. Do you grab any cool stuff, clothing-wise, or kitchen appliances? We give stuff away. I mean, we have definitely donation centers. Susan's better at giving away stuff than I am. She'll give away most of her clothes, and she's got all kinds of awesome clothes. Susan's got a pretty great fashion sense, but she keeps it pretty fresh. She's not somebody who like wears something from last year, so she's always giving away super dope stuff that's probably getting resold at like high value at these thrift stores. But I hang on to everything. Like, it's hard for me to get rid of, and all my stuff is just so trashy. Like, it's a bunch of just cut off t-shirts. Like, I only have like 1 or 2 t-shirts. David Carrasco sent me a t-shirt that still has the sleeves on it. That's like one of the only ones. All the rest, I don't know. I just feel like I can't have sleeves most of the time. I mean, if I do feel chilly or it's a little chilly, I'll put a flannel on, but it's like, I'm like a guy from Florida or something. Like, I can't have sleeves on. I gotta be free. And all my stuff's just trashy. I don't have like any nice clothes or anything. Anyways, right. So Johnny Ponder's looking forward to some new Road 2 videos. Yeah, I stopped doing anything with the old lineup. I had more of those, but I was like, I want to promote what we're doing now. Pump 5 was the first road video I did for a different band. I don't know if you saw that, Johnny, yet, but if you go to my videos, the Pump 5 road vlogs in there. It's pretty interesting. A dude got murdered outside of our hotel, and we have to like talk to the cops and stuff. And it's got some live footage. There's some live stuff of me playing with them with Pump 5 in there. It's pretty cool. Lee Ming saying the song is posted on my channel, Marsha B. Yeah, and Russell Lendez 7156. Eric rules. Oh, I appreciate that you feel that way. I thank you very much. T-Cuz, my grandson turned 4 this year. He's playing his dad's practice drum kit. He's so fun. And his little sister is also the coolest. Oh, that's so great, man. I feel envious, of people that have families. If I'm, obviously when I'm in airports and stuff, I see the most kids around with people. And I mean, when they get to be like, 2 or 3 years old to like 5 years old, they're so damn cute. Like, they're just little munchkins, their voices and everything. I couldn't, I feel like I missed out on a lot of that. I always wanted to be a dad. But it's just to play music. It's like, you gotta, if you're not connected to the business and you're going to have to do it the hard way, there's really no room for family. You know what I mean? It's like, you're going to starve to make it. Everything that you make is going to go into just paying your rent and buying the equipment you need. and you don't make big money when you get into it. Like even when you're playing for a known band and they hire you, you're lucky if you're getting like $200 a night or less in some cases. You know, I've talked about that a few times. Like it's not the rock fantasy you think. You know, paying your dues, it's a serious thing. The ones that don't have to pay their dues are the ones that their parents are actors, or you know, their parents are in the music business, or they're producers or big time whatever. They've been groomed for success their whole lives. Those ones don't always last either. You know what I mean? They're rich and they're not. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? They're not like the rest of us that are trying to do this and pay our bills and whatever. It's do or die for some of us, you know. But I digress. When I see little kids and it's cute, man, and I feel like, damn, I wish I had got to have that experience, because that's such a true, real experience, having a family. And if I feel like the music business can be really phony, and a lot of the people that are in it can be really phony, and you feel like, man, was this really a valuable thing to dedicate my life to? You start questioning if you did the wrong thing. But once you do finally stick it out and get through the dark times, and finally get good enough at your instrument performing, and you're kind of a more in-demand guy, and you're reaching all these people, and you're all of a sudden, you know, all these people all over the country and the world, and you realize that you made people's lives a little better. And you know, for me, I've joked before, you know, like I'm not like married or anything, but I always felt like I belonged to all you guys, or like I belong to the world or whatever. I don't belong to like any one person, or, you know, whatever. It's not selling your soul or anything like that. I've never sold my soul. I've never done any black magic to what I worked jobs the whole time. You know what I mean? It wasn't until probably 3 years ago that I didn't have to have some kind of other thing I was doing to pay bills. You know, I've done deliveries. I've driven for Lyft, for Uber. I mean, I'm not above. I don't borrow money from people. You know what I mean? Like I'll get out there and earn it. You know what I mean? And be responsible and pay my bills. Anyways, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Via extraterrestrial. If acted bad when I was a kid, my mom would pull me out the belt and just whip the hell out of me in the back of 70s. Parents don't mess around. That is true. Like I remember all through the 70s, 80s, and probably the 90s, you would always hear somebody in the supermarket getting their ass whooped by their mom or dad in the supermarket in front of everybody. It would just like everything would stop and they would just smack the shit out of their kid. Even pull their pants down sometimes and do it. Like it was so different times. Like none of that would fly today. You never see that. I have not seen a kid get physically reprimanded in a store in probably 20 years. I don't know about you guys. I mean, that isn't necessarily good, but I mean, there is a discipline that has to go down. I kind of touched on that earlier. Like I'm not down with like the free range. You know, you should, when you're in public with people, you should, from an early age, teach your kids how to play the game. You know what I mean? And just get along with other people. Most of you guys do that have kids. I'm sure you're that way. But definitely 70s parents were ruthless. Probably even all parents, dude, up until that point. But definitely the 70s was its own thing, to be sure. John Evans, my grandparents were super stern. Now, my grandparents didn't have to be. I've joked about my German grandma, though. She didn't mean to be mean, but she just had her, you know, her modest upbringings. You know, they didn't have medical supplies, so like if you skinned your knee, she would like grab a lemon and squeeze it on you, which was like kind of a form of torture in a way. But she wasn't stern. I mean, my grandparents loved me, and they never laid a hand on me. My mom, on the other hand, whoo, my Italian mother, whoo, boy. Johnny Ponder, will you be having any guests on future live hangs? Yeah. I almost was going to ask Logan if he wanted to come on tonight, but I mean, generally I don't, because like, I don't know. I mean, not everybody, I don't want to make it like I'm going to have a new guest and have the pressure of trying to find somebody to be on all the time. I also lose my groove, you know. I kind of just like to talk to you guys and whatever, and when I have to bring somebody else in, I'm going to have to like research them. And as I said before, I tend to just bring on people that are friends of mine. So if it's a friend in the business, I'll feel more comfortable bringing them on, because I can kind of talk about our lives and our friendship and what we do in the music business. But Logan is somebody I probably will have on in the future, and who knows, maybe other people from the band. I've never had Stephen on a show ever. But again, with that, I've always wanted to kind of make it on my own. You know what I mean? I don't like having to lean on other people necessarily. And when it comes to this channel, the content is going to be diverse. I mean, certainly I had to build it up doing some road videos, the Steven videos, to get me on the map, without a doubt. I'm not denying that. But as I said, now I'm going to show you guys everything I do, all the bands I play in. And if that's not enough and hanging out with you isn't enough, I'm going to bite you every Tuesday at the Fright Bite. And you could take that to the Vampire Bank, sir. Yep. Skojo, smash that like button. Skojo's not seeing enough likes tonight. Who's holding out on the likes? I'm seeing 52 people watching. Do I have 52 likes? Do I? Come on.
What are you people? On dope?
Are you? My goodness.
What if I told you I'd take you to a place you'd never been and do something to you that's never been done?
What if I told that to you? What if I told you I was going to take you to a place you've never been and do something to you that's never been done?
My immediate reaction is no, but I've got kind of a yesy aftertaste.
Oh, I had to take a sip there. I've been motor mouthing. I've been motorboating my super carrot. No, I am a cat grandma. She's a cat. You know, so if anybody who's following the saga of my super carrot Marsha here, she somewhat adopted a tortie cat named Rudy. That is a super mysterious cat that just came to her recently. It disappeared for a minute, and then was back again. And yesterday, Marsha was panicking because she thought that Rudy was possibly pregnant. And Rudy's barely a cat. I mean, Rudy's probably not even maybe a year old. You know, it's a young tortie. And sure enough, Rudy gave birth in Marsha's garage last night. I'm still waiting for pictures from Marsha. I think Rudy did this in her garage, which there's a lot of hiding spots in there, and I think she hid her babies. Marsha can hear them, and certainly Rudy's like coming to Marsha for comfort, and Marsha bought a bunch of like food that's going to give nutrients to Rudy for her feeding of her kittens and everything. That's Marsha's like Dr. Doolittle over there at her place. There's so many different animals at her house. It's crazy. I love it. I've always told her she's got to do a YouTube channel just showing all the animal activity around her house and all the things that she does for them all the time. I think it would be a big hit. I would promote it for her. I always tell her that. And her son would be good at helping her. He's a photographer and stuff. And I think that together they could do something really cool. But anyways, yeah, she's a cat grandma now, but pretty cool. I've never had a cat that had kittens, but yeah, that's pretty dope. Good stuff. Okay, Frank Hilton, damn it, Marsha. Wade Miller, y'all played Slip Tuesday night, the only song from Dancing Undercover. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we did play something from Dancing. We've always played Slip of the Lip. I love that. It's one of my I like playing that song live for some reason. I like it. Diamond 2778. Hi, Eric. Hello to you. Thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate you. Colorado Springs. Just think how many multi-million seller songs had just 2 or 3 chords. The same 3 chords, just played a little different. Oh, it's totally true. And I never let like technicality stop me from playing rock music. You know, when I picked up a guitar and I was able to play some of the music from some of the bands that I liked, that was enough for me to move forward. Like, certainly there was some super shredders coming up at that time, Steve Vai and Paul Gilbert and these next level guys, Yngwie Malmsteen and stuff. And I thought it was cool. You know, I was like, wow, that's pretty, over Vinnie Vincent for that matter. I thought it was cool, but I didn't go, well, because I can't play that, I'm not going to go play in a band. I mean, that never stopped me from that. And, you know, everything's subjective. For the most part, most people are cool with me for the most part. Some people judge me, like, and think I suck on guitar because I'm not showing off in that capacity. But, you know, I'm not a sweep picky guitar player, but I do the fast legato stuff and, you know, pull off hammer-on-y things. I can tap on guitar, although in Ratt, that's kind of an unwritten law that you don't. That's Eddie Van Halen's thing. And like in 1984, when Eddie was at his peak, right, and all the kids were wanting to be Eddie Van Halen, everybody was tapping on guitar. And so Warren, Stephen, Robin had all kind of decided they weren't going to tap in Ratt. They were going to do other stuff. There is one song that does have tapping on it, and it's on the EP. It's the EP version of Back for More. Logan knows this because he had to learn it for the thing. But there is like an overdub that Warren's doing where he's kind of tapping the harmonics of the chord changes on the breakdown. So that's a tap. But other than that, there's like no tapping going on there. And yes, you only need to know a couple cowboy chords to write a good song and to entertain people. And when if the power ever went out, I've always said I hope an EMP goes off and sends us back to the dark times, because I'll still play acoustic guitar. We'll still have butt bongos, you know. You can't stop us from making music and singing and all that good stuff. But I mean, I don't know, you're not going to necessarily have an electric amp to play all the crazy noodling and all that. But somebody else liking Mother Lobo in here, Chad Moore official. Mother Lobo is my favorite Seattle band next to Alice in Chains. Yeah, I was way into Mother Lobo. They just had a cool kind of funky sound to them. And Alice in Chains, of course, love them. Listen to them tonight. I've been trying to, as I started traveling, I kind of fell off on the workout thing. As soon as I have to leave town, like with Pump5, I was gone for about 5 days, and that kind of threw me off, and I got home and I was all tired, and I feel like I was eating a lot of crap again. I feel like I might have gained back like a couple pounds. So the last couple days I've been hitting the gym again, and today I was in there. Listened to some podcasts. I did throw some Alice in Chains on. I threw some AC/DC. I threw some NWA. I listen to all kinds of stuff when I'm in there. Sometimes Rage Against the Machine when I'm working out. I like that too. What else we got? The Extraterrestrial. Let's not forget Pearl Jam is from North County, San Diego. Yeah, I've told the story. I got to smoke pot with Eddie Vedder once, and it was at he has a half brother that went to my high school in Encinitas, because I went to school in Encinitas where Eddie's from. He went to San Diego. I went to San Diego for a minute, but I ended up going to Sunset High School, which was like the bad kid high school before they boot you out. And anyways, there was a house party at his half brother's place or something, and I'm sitting there, and who walks in but a guy that looked exactly like Eddie Vedder, but like short. And I was like, I said to my friend, I'm like, that guy looks just like Eddie Vedder. He's like, that is Eddie Vedder. And I was like, whoa, no way. And at the time, this was in the 90s, and I was like probably the only guy at the party that had long hair. And he came right up to me and was hanging out, and I had some weed, and we were just talking, and he was like super nice to me. I mean, I was nobody then. I was like probably, I don't know, 22 years old or something like that. And he was asking about if I played music. He was asking about my band, and I kind of blew it off. I was just couldn't believe I was talking to this guy. This was like around the time that record 10 was out from Pearl Jam. He was a big deal at this time. But he was just, you know, super humble and attentive to me, just talking to me. He was like super cool. He hung at that party like all night. I left and he was still there. He had an acoustic guitar and he was just playing and stuff. So, I mean, he seems like a really good dude, Eddie Vedder. I can't, you know, brilliant singer and lyricist, and still sings amazingly. Susan puts on the Pearl Jam channel on her XM sometimes if she's ever driving in the car, and they have so much cool live stuff they've done too. But yeah, what else we got? John, how you doing, buddy? Capucci Arcade kicked ass. Saw them here in New Jersey at Birch Hill. Yeah, they were good. I got to open up for Arcade and some of the bands I was in. We played a New Year's Eve in San Diego where Arcade played with, it was Asphalt Ballet, Arcade, and Voodoo played. And Stephen let me come up on stage to play Round and Round. It was at the Red Lion Hotel. I don't know if any of you guys were at that, but anyways, that was a kind of cool chance to get up on the headliner stage and play. I had played some Rat songs with Stephen once before. He had come up at the Bacchanal once with Voodoo and got on stage, and we did Wanted Man and a couple Plasmatic songs, which was cool. Let me see. Tina, what's happening? Tina Ryder, Honeycutt. Would you ever ask Jakey Lee to do guest jams? Yeah, I think Stephen asked him to play on his new record. I'm pretty sure, and Matt and Jake are pretty good friends too. So that'd be super dope if Jake played on it. I don't know if he did yet. Southern Harmony is a great record. I think that's Black Crowes, right? Good stuff. John Evans, great to see you. Stoked in the musicians' perspectives tonight. Great show, Eric. Thank you. I didn't have anything planned tonight. I'm like, God, I'm irresponsible. I was like, about 10 minutes before the show tonight, I'm like, I started grabbing some photos and whatever. Okay, we're getting some intel on Joel Hulkstra here, folks. RDT275. I met Joel in Las Vegas at the Rock Vault show. He was not very nice. I'm not bashing him, just telling the truth. Oh, okay, well, God, I'm like Ron Burgundy. I should read these before I put them up there. Well, was he just, what? Maybe he was in a hurry, or he had a bad day, or something happened at the Rock Vault? Did he forget the code to the Rock Vault? He couldn't get the vault open, and maybe he was just pissed off? I don't know. No, Joel's such a down-to-earth guy and an amazing guitarist, as John Caplucci says. I'm sure there's people that have caught me on a bad day. There's people that I have straight up punched in the face and sent to the hospital, guys. Not everybody's going to say I'm a nice guy. Now, anybody that I did that to totally had it coming, because I am pretty much a nice guy. But we're human beings, and stuff. Who knows what's going on in our life at that particular moment, or what the person's dealing with. But I can just tell you that Joel's reached out to me and was very fucking cool and humble with coming into this band. He wasn't like, okay, here's how it's gonna go. And you'd be surprised. People come in and can act that way, and it's weird, you know what I mean? But there's just some people in the business, I think generally speaking, these guys that you see that get all the gigs, one thing they have in common is they're all winners. They, like Blas Elias, they're just winners. They're not negative people that are down in the muck. They float above it. They're just positive people that are just gracious all the time and just do their job and are professional at all times. And therefore they kind of don't get sucked into the BS. I get sucked into the BS sometimes. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of like, I'm all over the place, but whatever. I'm in the Pearcy band, and we're outrageous. You know what I mean? It's like, if I wanted to be a guy who plays in the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, I would shoot for something like that. That's not. I'm amazed by their talents for that. That's not my thing personally. You know what I mean? And I'm just a dreamer. I'm a performer. I love playing with Steven and these other bands I'm in. I like to have my time at home just to like dream up shit and write music and be creative. You know what I mean? Some of these guys are just playing all year long. They just book themselves solid, and I don't have that much drive. There's more to my life. Tina, you ever check out Dawning a Brand New Day by John Sykes? Dawning of a Brand New Day. I'll have to check that out. John Sykes was definitely one of my, as far as Whitesnake, like that Whitesnake record that he played on was phenomenal. Like that was definitely an influence for me. His guitar playing was so sweet. Speaking of sweet, Tina says, and Michael Sweet. He's cool. I know Michael Sweet. Striper, we've played lots of shows with Striper. Skylar's saying all the Fright Biters are in the house tonight. Well, that's good. Maybe I'll have to like give you guys some Fright Bite stuff. That's for the Fright Biters. So Spicoli's on a plane with no reception. God damn it. Yeah, Southwest, you get free Wi-Fi now, but it kind of sucks. Sometimes it's okay, but if you're on the flight and there's a ton of people on it, you're probably going to get kicked off all the time. Arkansas in the house. No, I'm just kidding. Arkansas in the house. Gail Cantrell. What's up, Gail? Good to see you, dear. I'm happy you could be with us tonight. I used to joke that I used to say Arkansas and just think it was the funniest thing, but it's not. It's not really that funny. Frank says, "Hey, Gail." We're always happy when we get like equal guys and girls here. Chazzy73, sorry if this is old news, but would you mind retelling how you and Stephen met? Yeah, it's always a fun story. Back in 1987, when ratt was taking over the world, and I was living in Carlsbad, California with my parents. I was probably about 15 years old, and I had just started playing guitar, got my first electric guitar. And my mom said to me, there was this awesome house that was built across the street from our garage. Our two garages faced each other, and it looked like a castle. And finally somebody was moving in there, and my mom's all, "Hey, do you know who ratt is?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know who ratt is." She's like, "Okay, well, the singer just moved in across the street. Don't tell anybody." And I was like, "What?" And it was pretty nuts. I remember I had my teenage friends at the time, and we hung out at this park in La Costa there. And I remember riding my bike or skateboard or whatever down to the park, and like, you guys are not going to believe this. Because I mean, ratt was all over MTV at that point. I'm like, Stephen Pearcy's living across the street. To me, I was just like, it was such a life-changing event. You know, it's not like I was living in Hollywood or something. I mean, it was San Diego. I mean, there wasn't any other, even though, yeah, we say Eddie Vedder's from Encinitas, that's North County, but there's been not too many big stars from San Diego. POD's from here, Blink-182's from here. I do know those guys. But Steven at that time in the 80s was definitely a huge star to be moving into Carlsbad. And it was a big deal. I mean, on the radio, people would report sightings, you know, like he's an alien or something from outer space, you know. Like, there was a Stephen Pearcy sighting today. He was at the gas station. You know, just silly. And people would follow him. He had a pretty sick Porsche 935 turbo, and you would hear him rev around the corner. And he would time the garage door perfect to pull in, and the garage door would shut, and people would be sitting outside, "Oh, can you believe it?" They'd be trying to they couldn't believe that Stephen Pearcy was like in their neighborhood, and they would actually follow him and stuff. So crazy times. And as I told people, when I would see him out walking his dog or whatever, I would take my little crate amp and I would turn it up full blast, and I would grab my guitar and I would take the whammy bar, just do like horsey noises, and yeah, I would do some tapping and play a couple riffs, and he'd be like, "Whoa, where's that coming from?" And that escalated to like having my first, garage band at my parents' house, and we were playing like Metallica and like For Whom the Bell Tolls. Like, it was just like we were going off, and Steven thought it was the best thing. He was very supportive of it. He would have me and my friends come over and like record. He would do like home recordings of us over his house. And when I had the band Voodoo, he produced us. He like paid for our first demos. He was always very gracious to me and just such a kind friend. I think, he doesn't see himself in me now the way I look now, but back then when I had the long hair and I was a young aspiring guy, I mean, he saw some of himself in me. I was like, yeah, I'm going to make it someday, and he thought it was cool. And he's without a doubt always looked out for me. When I was 27, turning 28, he offered me the gig in his band. He knew I was proficient enough at that point to play. Similar to Logan, when I was like, "Hey, we're going to have you come in." It was the same thing. It's like, when are you ever ready? It's just really somebody giving you your first break, right? But after playing my first show, it was really similar. It was like, "Hey, you can play with us anytime." You know what I mean? You passed the test or whatever. And I just held on to the gig with both hands for all these years, 25 of them to be exact. And we're doing the best we ever have. I mean, usually it's not that way. Usually you start up here and by the end you're like, but we went from all the way to like, now we're just doing really cool, big shit and making the most money we ever have. And I can't believe it. The things like this make me think that we are living in a simulation, where I was like, okay, I'm going to go play Earth Simulation, and I'm going to choose the rock star life. And I feel like It seems like that because I don't think of myself as a super duper talented guy or anything like that. And the fact that I've been able to do this for so long and still have the gig and survive Piercy Island all these years when there's so many other people that just didn't get that same opportunity, that are better than me on guitar, better looking, have more hair, skinnier, whatever their fucking thing is that they're better at. But I have heart and I have fire and I connect with people, and that's some of my strengths, and I'm a creator and I write music, and it's awesome, and I'm still doing it, and I'm glad you guys can be here to be a part of it. But that's my short story, friend, of how that happened. Long live Sugarfoot, or is it Sugar Smack? I don't know. Let's see. I think he meant Sugar Smack. Correction, long live. I knew it. Long live Sugar Smack. Yeah, you'll see Sugar Smack again. You know he loves to torture the Count. Yeah. What do we got here? Rico. Erik, sorry if I missed this earlier. Have you played with Joel Holkstra before, or have practices started? Thanks. I met Joel when he was also on the Monsters of Rock cruise. I don't even know if we said hi to each other, but he was talking to some of the people I was with. He's very tall. He's much taller than me. I think he didn't see me because I'm down here, and he was just like, oh, hey, boy. He didn't notice me there. But no, we haven't started rehearsals. He's probably not going to rehearse with us, guys. Once you get to like a certain level of guitarist, you're expected to just show up and kick ass. That's the truth. I mean, I didn't get any rehearsals when I joined the band. Logan didn't get any rehearsals. That's your tryout, man. Do your homework. And, that's it. Now, I'm glad that the Pump5 and the Project let me rehearse, because I'm already on music overload, and sometimes I'm embarrassed. I show up there and I suck and I didn't do my homework, but they're all really nice to me about it. So that's cool. But when it comes down to like being ready for the show, I've never let any of those guys down. Like I'll cram for the big test. You know what I mean? Like that week of the show, I'll definitely put in, 30, 40 hours to making sure I'm not going to make them look bad or something. And, Pump5 was very happy with me on the show. They all enjoyed my, company out there, thought I played really great. And that's why they want me to play half the shows with them. So just checking in. Badass. Well, thank you, Heath Sean. I appreciate that, sir. Sin Crazy, is giving the thumbs up. So Gary's telling me that the Sin Crazy song with Billy Sheehan on bass and me on guitar, Gary plays guitar on it. I just played the solo on it pretty much, but I've been a part of this thing. It's taken a while. This has been like, I don't know, Gary, what was it, 8 months now, 9 months? This song has been going on. Another guy, Riley, right, playing drums. But this song, Live for Tomorrow, I think he's even having Max Norman like produce it or mix it or something like that. So he's super excited about that. And of course, we're always happy to have Gary here, Sin Crazy Gary. Go check out Sin Crazy on YouTube or social media, and follow Gary, and he'll be debuting that soon. And who knows, maybe he'll be a guest of mine on here. We'll see. That's rock and roll, brother. That's right. Gary's a good dude. I like Gary. Frank Hilton, singer from that band, sounds like Donnie V from Nuff's Enough. Yeah, Dennis Hill. I love his voice. So far, Death of Me, if you guys check that out from the Project, that's him singing. And the song Tonight that I played for you guys, Complicated, that was Dennis singing. But yeah, I just love it. Oh, yeah, Unwritten Law is from San Diego. Yes, they are. And they do still play. Chaz, thanks, Erik. Appreciate you answering my question. It was awesome to hear you tell it. Cheers. Well, cheers to you, sir. Gary's saying, yeah, Live for Tomorrow, brother. Billy Sheehan, Robert Sarzo, Kenny Rhino, Earl, Eric, Christianity, and myself are busting out a killer new song mixed and mastered by Max Norman. Erik rocks. Well, that is super cool. It's always great to be a part of anyone's cool stuff and helping them make their dreams come true. Making our dreams come true for me and you. Boom, ba, ba, da, da, ba. Chadsy, thanks, Erik. Appreciate. Oh, yeah, I already read that. Hello. The Extraterrestrial. Unwritten Law, they actually had Worship the Devil. I got to see their kind of setup with goat heads and horns and devil heads. That's weird. They weren't doing that back when they were a San Diego band. But anywho. we had some new members tonight. Wade Miller, of course, who put on that awesome show this week. Thank you so much for having Stephen Pearcy play your private event. And if any of you guys also want to have some kind of big blowout, you're like, hey man, I can't take my money with me when I go, and I want to have a big party. You could hire Stephen for private events. I mean, they're not cheap, but they're worth it. You know what I mean? It's a great time, and you know, you can visit Stephen Pearcy, official stephenpearcy.com for that, and maybe we could do an awesome birthday for you sometime. But we appreciate having Wade here tonight. Thank you, sir, and we hope to see you at more hangouts and on the Fright Bites on Tuesday. And another member, Frank Hilton, became a YouTube member. And you know what that means? That means I got to start putting some special stuff up, because I haven't done diddly squat, and I'm sorry to all the people that became members and haven't gotten anything from me yet. But you will be getting it. It's just like things are just starting to heat up and take off again. So Skojo is saying, great show tonight. Thank you, Skojo, for coming out to these last gigs. And you're a good friend to me. I appreciate you. And also Tim, I appreciate you too, man. You keep me laughing, and it's always good anytime we're in Oklahoma or Texas or even Kansas. It looks like these guys come out to hang with me, and it's always a good time. But I think I'm going to wrap it up, guys. This was a great hang tonight. Thank you so much. And yeah.
Let's have us a champagne jam.
We did. We had a champagne jam tonight, and it was all right. Okay. Well, I'm going to bid you all farewell. You know I dig you guys very much. I'll see you Tuesday with Dahlia Dark for the Fright Bite. But remember, this weekend, you're getting a new Stephen Pearcy road vlog. I'm going to start editing it early tomorrow. I'm probably going to put it out Sunday, I'm thinking. Maybe Sunday morning. So that's something to look forward to. And until then, be cool and be kind to each other.